So, there's something that has always puzzled me about how people look at Stone Age technology. Right? So this was made by somebody long dead. I'm not even sure where. Somewhere in the Americas. Somewhere in North America. Much better at this than I am. And these two I made. This is just from a pane of glass. So I was able to leave it, flat. That's the original surface of the glass on most of it. And then just chip away the edge. And then back here. So you can haft it. And then this is designed to, you can put this into the body of an arrow. So either this is salvageable or the body of the arrow is salvageable, more likely than not. And this one I made, and this one is actually stone, but again, like, I chose a spall off of a larger object that was really close to the shape that I wanted, so I didn't have to do too much, right? Like here you've got all of this work that brings the body into the right shape. I just facultatively used pieces that I didn't have to do that very much with. So here I'm just, basically I just shaped it and put those serrations on it. But I saw somebody on social media today commenting on a video of somebody, a video of somebody making one very similar to this, but it's like the size of your hand, a much larger one. Dude, well more skilled than me. I don't think he was as good as whoever did this one though, but he was good for sure. It's like glitter. Glitter stuck to this. But the commenter was like, I can't even cut bread straight, but did they really know about serrations? And I found this amazing. I find this attitude amazing because, on one hand, you're admitting that you don't have any idea what the hell you're talking about. You don't know anything about the subject. You can't even use like metal tools that you buy at a store, let alone make something from a rock, right? Like this is a hell of a skill, right? It takes a lot of practice, a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding of what's going on in order to achieve something. Look how thin that is. Let's see, get that. Look at that. How thin that is. That's very, very, very highly skilled work right there. It's a very knowledgeable person that made this. But the attitude is that even though the modern person is not knowledgeable about any of these things, we're modern, right? So we're better and we know more just by default. So these people, they're generations and generations ago, they didn't know anything. Oh, they just live in the Stone Age. And when I point this out, everybody gets all butthurt, but like that's what you're doing. You're completely dismissing the craftsmanship, the knowledge, the skill that goes into not only making these, but designing them in the first place, right? And there's something that if you have ever touched if you have ever picked up flint knapping at all, just tried it, you'll understand what's fundamentally wrong with this dude's question here. Like, oh, did they know about serrations? You can see here, every time we take a flake off, that fluting that results generates a small serration on the edge. Right? So it takes a high degree of skill to get it anywhere near this straight. Right? And it's still serrated because you have to work from you're knocking chips off this side and chips off that side, and that's going to cause this wavy serration on there. Naturally, you can, of course, amplify that very easily. That's literally the only thing I did here is I just took this spall that was basically the right shape anyway, and then basically I just shaped it with this fluting, and I only had to go on one side, actually, I think. Did I? No, I did go on both sides. Okay. So this is really just an exaggerated version of what you have to do anyway. It's already serrated. So, I don't know, it's just astonishing to me that people will look at the world this way. They're like, oh, because we live in modern times, we know everything. Even when you're openly admitting that you don't know jack shit. Like, what kind of ego is that? That's just amazing to me. How arrogant and what? What the hell? This used to have a little bit sharper of a tip. It broke off at some point. But, I mean, even as it is, it's still very nice. Very nice. Most of the pieces that I find are, I think, more like the style that I do. These are finer quality than what I'll normally do when I'm making, a tool. Basically, I'll just take some random, I'll just take a rock, smash it, get a spall off of it, and then use that facultatively as a small blade or whatever until it's gone. And the pieces that I find around this area that look like tools, it looks like the people that made them were doing something very, very similar to this. So if you don't know to look for that kind of thing, it just looks like rocks. It's it's not fancy as like this. It just looks like little rocks. But if you know what you're looking for, like, oh, this is probably a little blade, and if you look closely, a lot of times you can find on the sharpest edge there's a little bit of plant matter or like some sinew or something caught in some of those little serrations. This piece doesn't have it, but like I have some little things that I found. Usually they're only about this big, like something you would just hold between your fingers and maybe work something relatively small, like I don't know, chopping up some vegetables or something. The kinds of vegetables and things that you can find locally, natively. Yeah. So I don't know. It just amazes me that people will look at things like that and have absolutely no sense of where they are in the world. Like they're paying lip service to the fact that they don't know jack shit, but then the behavior of continuing the thought demonstrates that they don't actually recognize that they don't know what they're doing. I don't know. This is amazing to me.